Hi, this is Manushka, Jessica, host of Luco T Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to Luco T Podcast. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being an audience of Luco T Podcast. And I also want to thank all those that will subscribe. Please remember to always subscribe and leave a comment for me because I do enjoy reading the comments. And thank you for to those that have already subscribed. Let me get into today's subject. Today is like my first part, like principalities, like who and what they are. This is part one on principality. I will be doing a maybe a 3-4 part, but there's one of the parts that I want to do. It's a lot of research that went into it, but this is part one on principality, and I want to set it up because when we're talking about principality, when it comes biblically, we know that you can find it in Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principality, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So that's a reference point in the biblical aspect. But when we get into spirituality, which we would consider like spirituality, there are people, some people like to call them shamans. Some people like to call them witch doctors. Call them whatever you want to call them. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that they're spiritualists. They focus more on spirituality, whereas biblically, people are focused toward going to a kingdom. The other one is focused spiritually. So this like principality, who and what they are, I pretty much want to stay focused on the principality as a subject matter here. Okay, they are not kings, people, but kings answer to them. They do not bleed, but blood is their contract. Principalities are not seen, they are felt. When wars begin for no reason, you better believe they're behind it. When lies become law, their thrones are tightened. They operate above government. They are above governments, okay? They beneath reality. They are the ancient architect of division. Every empire that rise and fall did so under the glaze, under their glaze, people. They are not demon. They are higher. And a lot of people are getting principality and demon confused. I'm like, principality is much higher than a demon. Most people don't realize that. They are the force of dominion. They have hierarchy, invisible chains. Your history books do not name them, but they wrote them. Why would a book that they wrote would name them? Think about it, people. They assigned power to men who signed with silence. Popes kneel. Generals submit, kings obey them. These spirits were here way before mankind memory formed. They feed on fear, hierarchy, ritual, and obedience. They require no temple. The system is their altar. Principality are not summoned, they assign themselves. They ride bloodlines like horses, nations like pets. You cannot vote them out. You must discern them out. Okay? The greatest victory was convince you they were a myth. And I think that when you go, if you look into Ephesians 6:13, it's also too. If you go into the biblical text, it also tells you the gift is to discerning. And I think that the reason it's telling pray for the gift of discerning, I believe that you can be able to discern principalities because that's the only way you you can pick up on them. To be honest with you, you have to have a spirit of discerning. You have to be awake. Your third eyes have to be open. You have to be like, something is off. They are not individual spirit, but position in a spiritual hierarchy. And the spiritual hierarchy, like where you see one, they come with a plather. So wherever this one, they pretty much come with their own board of people. It's something. I'm gonna get into them different parts. I'm really gonna break it down to you. Each continent has its ruling principality. Each system its puppet master. So what people don't realize, and then I also have a part I want to write about principality in the lands, how that works. They rule through industries, entertainment, religion, law, money. A principality doesn't care what you believe in, only who you obey. It does not possesses people. It structured them. It moved ideas like soldiers, dogma like daggers. They use chaos to build new order in order to trap freedom. Their realm is frequency, legality, vibration, and ritual. They cannot be killed. Get that crap out your head. You're gonna kill one. Not happening, homie. Not happening, people. Not happening, family. Not happening. You can't kill one, okay? But they can be dethroned. To dethrone them, truth must bleed from the lips of the courageous. Now, you're going to be hard pressed to find people that's courageous in this time of day. Even though we're in the water era bearer, you're going to be really hard pressed to find people that's courageous, to be honest with you. Principality crowns the vampire. Are you listening to me? Okay? Let me repeat this again. Principality crowns vampire. They engineered the reptilians. They give permission for wars. They wrote the blueprint for plagues. They are not gods, but gods with an S. Fear them. Okay? They are sentinels, a spiritual law twisted into bondage. They punish nation who awaken, reward those who conform. They hold scrolls of ancient pacts signed in human ignorance. Their symbol hides in plain sight. Their symbols are on flags, money, media. They are why blood is spilled in ritual called elections. They don't choose sides. They own both. When the war began, they already know the outcome. What I'm saying here, people don't realize that whenever we're dealing with elections, people, there are human sacrifice that has to be done. Blood has to be spilled. So when people get confirmed, like whatever you see is running in a major election thing, human sacrifice go on in the background. It's not talked about openly, okay? And it's basically going to boil down which one of them offered the best, the purest, the cleanest, and et cetera, and the quantity and how much, and if the principality was pleased with it, okay? When prophets rise, principalities send distractions. When revolutions stir, they release control chaos. They do not panic. They plan centuries in advance. They whisper to those in high places through pride and promise. They offer kingdom in exchange for silence. They offer safety in exchange for slavery. You feel them in boardrooms, cathedrals, courtrooms. Their touch is cold, it's logic, it's seductive. They present contracts, not curses. Most sign before they even realize there was a choice. So you see, there's a lot of people that run and sign things, don't even read it. The older I'm getting, I'm realizing you have to take your time and read it. You might have to be like, hey, give me a day for me to get back to you instead of like rush, because you might want to read all the fine print. But now their grip tremble, not because they grew weak, but because eyes are opening throughout the whole planet. The eyes of Aquarius bring exposure, not comfort. And light principalities cannot hide. They fear the awakening. Who know their name? For to them there is to nullify their veil. To expose their law is to dissolve their power. Their greatest enemy is not war, but awareness. For every child that see, a tower crumbles, and their illusion cannot enslave the truly conscious. You do not fight them with fists, but with frequency, with choice, truth, boldness, and unshakable discernment. They cannot bind a soul that remember its origin. Now you keep on hearing people say this over and over. Know thyself. But no one ever asks tell they say know thyself. People like to repeat it like parrots. But it's the old saying. If you know yourself, you know, your soul cannot be bind because you know your origin. That's what that know thyself is about. It's pertaining to the principality. Okay? Their chains are made of ignorance, their walls of consent. Reject their system and they lose control. Break their contract and their power splatter. They will scream through media, religion, digital gods. But a salving soul is untouchable. And the only way you can be a salving soul is that you have to know thyself. You must know who you are, or they will tell you. When they tell you, it will always be a lie. They speak in echoes, not words. They don't argue. They structure thoughts before you think. They build your prison and your preference. So keep the kind of prison you want, that's the one they build, the one you prefer. Their weapon is normalized. If you do not resist, you become their ambassador unknowingly. But if you challenge, they mark you. They weaponize algorithm against prophets. They unleash despair to keep you docile. But when one soul breaks their rhythm, many follow. When many awaken, the principality lose its seat. Not all principalities are the same. Some specialize in lust, others in greed, others in control. Some wear crowns, other wear robes, other wear lab coats. But their goal is singular: rule the realm of men. They whisper in institution, rewriting what is holy into what is hollow. They despair sovereignty. They despise sovereignty, creativity, divine identity. They love order, status, control, and hierarchy. They promise heaven but deliver invisible chains. But they cannot override will. They require agreement. And every yes to their system tighten the noose. To stand tall, not as a servant, but as a sovereign. Learn their names, their system, their signature, and reject every lie wrapped in comfort. Principality will rage and scream and retaliate, but they are not gods. They are expired contracts. You are the awakened that they fear would come, not armies, but you, not blood, but truth. They sit in thrones of shadows. They sit in the thrones of the shadow for millennia. Now the torch rise. Now the watchmen speak, and now the age of principality begins to fall. So, with that being said here, this is part one. And what I really want to do here after part one, I want to talk about, I think one of the most lengthiest one I will have is principality, like what they specialize in. That one's going to take a lot of energy. So I'll probably make that part three. But my next one will be principality in their relationship to the land, because I'm gonna go into that one. That's gonna be part two. So that's one you should definitely look out for. And it will be right after this one, to be honest with you. Okay. So what I want to do here, I want to thank you for being an audience of Luco T Podcast. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for your time. And thank you for tuning in. My name is Manushka Jessica, host of Luco T Podcast. I want to thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Please keep in mind this is part one. Part two will be principality in their relationship to the land. Thank you so much. Bye.